Good evening, all, and good morning to those of you are joining from the Canada and that part of the world, and also good evening to all of you. Hope all of you are well. Very warm welcome to the members meeting of the month of October. Uh, Let me first run through the past activities and the upcoming activities organized by the society, and then I will hand over the floor to the interest group members, interest group leaders, sorry, to give their updates. So I would like all of you to kind of keep your mic on mute. And if you have any questions, you can ask on the chat, or else when we open the floor for discussion, you can direct your questions at that moment. So just to give you an update, the agenda for today, we'll give you an update, upcoming events, then the interest group leaders will give us an update of what they have done during the past month, as well as what they have planned for during the month. Then we have the monthly presentation. Then if you have any questions, we can take it after the presentation. So on the 19th of September, on Saturday, we had the weekend presentation by Ms. Rajakaruna on how to prepare a photograph for a competition. Then on the 20th Sunday, we had our very first day out after the COVID. So there was a good participation, and I like to thank all of you who joined on that day for a meetup. So we are back again on our safe mode. So let's see whether we can do another meetup after all these COVID-19 issues go away. Then we have, as you know, that we have already publicized the PSSL annual international competition, the 65th one, and we have only 32 days more to submit your entries. Please do visit www.pssl.lk to get more details. As you know that we have started a new channel, YouTube channel on YouTube, and we have been posting all the talks that we had from May. So if you have not yet subscribed, we appreciate you check this account and go through the past events and talks. And we appreciate if you can subscribe so that we can keep this account very active. Then last month, I shared with you that we send applications, actually the images from the youth, the students and those who have under 25 years old for the competition organized by the organizing committee of Photo Beijing for the year 2020. It's called Silk Route Youth International Photographic Competition. There is a spelling mistake, so it's photographic. I think when they translated it, they have translated this incorrectly. So they have announced the official information yet to come, but they have shared the two winners who have got gold medal and a silver medal. From Group B, Iman Bandara, he's a student from Kegol. He won the gold award. He's still a student. He's 18 years old, still schooling. And then on Group C, Hashan Dhananjay won a silver award. So these are the two images that they have submitted. So it's a great achievement for these youngsters. I think we provide the platform for them to showcase their images overseas. The Photo Beijing is the opening ceremony. They are planned to have it on the 18th. in Beijing. So most probably they will have they will showcase their work as well at this exhibition. Then for PSSL upcoming activities, we have not yet announced the 2020-2021 capture this. We will announce it in November with a new look and along with prices and supplies. So stay tuned. I know a few of you have queried already for asking for themes. So wait for the announcement. Then we plan open judging because we need to still cover the backlog. May and October, because October, what images that we have received is low. So we try to complete October and then start on May. That is going to be the third Tuesday on the 20th. Then April 2020, we have received the large amount of images, mostly, I think main reason would have been like everyone was at home. So we have received around 80 odd images. So we have scheduled that to be judged on the 24th of October. Then wildlife, there's a backlog. That's April, May, June, September, and October. All 5 months will be covered on Sunday, 18th October at 5. So we will share the more details closer to the dates. Then I will now I will give the floor to the interest group leaders. Hiranti.
Okay, yeah, okay. Thanks, Shamini. So on 4th October, we did a morning shoot at the Asuru Park, followed by a breakfast. So the morning shoot was mostly to cover birds and some macro pictures, and some people have got some very nice photographs. Then we decided, okay, for more of networking and to enjoy each other's company, we will have a breakfast where we brought in potluck food, and we ended up with a wide spread of food and a wide variety of food. So all in all, it was a good morning outing for the WNG group, and so we decided that it is while we have the one night trips, but it is more to do one day stuff like this, maybe at least once in hopefully once a month, if not every once in 2 months, so that people can meet up and do a little bit of photography. So similarly, we planned on the 17th of October on the Saturday, we planned a one-day trip to Kalavawa because it's a Kalavawa season now and the elephants are out. The wildlife is beautiful. The wide-angle shots are lovely. But unfortunately, because of the present situation, we decided to postpone it from the 17th. So depending on the situation, we will plan it accordingly. But Kalavawa, if it is going to be Kalavawa, it has to be fast because before the rains come. So we will keep you posted depending on the present COVID situation. So that's the update, Shami.
Hiran?
Yes.
Hiran, are you there?
Yeah. Good evening. We had an interesting program at a place called The Groove in Nugegoda with a model that posed for us for about 2 hours where people came and shot images. And then we had a Photoshop coach called Sadun Priyankara who came in and showed us how best to edit them in various ways through Photoshop, the images that we captured. It was a very good session. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of people came, despite the fact that it was really cheap, I guess due to the rain or what, but it was really good. We had about close to 10 people that came, and it was good. It was a lovely setting, The Groove, and this girl, she was a little bit on the big plus size, so that helped us figure out how you could make the person, change their shape and size through Photoshop. using the Liquify tool, I believe. So anyway, it was a really good session and it went really well. So that's what happened. We are hoping to have another session on the 25th October, Sunday, the last Sunday. As of right now, all systems are go with Anushka Ranga as the coach who will basically show us how he does the photo shoot. I'm still working on the poster. It should be out pretty soon. And it's going to be probably from about 9 in the morning till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Le Bol Le Ban Pic, the famous Montmedian hotel that we all go to. I'll give you all the details. And it'll be where Anushka Ranga will show us how how he shoots and his workflow and all that. As you know, Anushka Ranga is quite a famous fashion photographer as well as a landscape photographer, and I believe he's also a Sony ambassador. So you'll learn a lot of tips and tricks. So please come if you can, and despite the COVID, and we'll really have a good time. Okay? Hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thanks, Iran. Then Ranmali, it's your turn to share the work that you did last month. The 27th of September on a Sunday, Ramesh did a presentation on the mystery of black and white as a part of their monthly presentations of the black and white group. So I think there was a good attendance. Of course, I missed it due to personal reasons. However, I heard that it was a good presentation. For this month, there is no activities planned from the black and white group. So then let's move on to the street photography. Either Ravi or Nilan can give an update.
Hello, Shamini. Yes. Last month we had a presentation by Mohan. The topic is street through art. It is very interesting presentation, but we limited it to the group members only. And this month, unfortunately, we have Poet Day on last Friday, so we don't have any presentation or activity. That's the situation.
Okay, thank you. And also, if even when we organize a session for the group, and if it's applicable for most of the other members also, I think we have to can we discuss within the group and see whether we can open it out for the other members as well. Over to Sam to give an update on the creative group. Lots of things are happening on that group.
Thank you, Shamini. Well, Creative Group is actually one of the newest groups that has been formed by PSSL. We have had 4 meetings so far. 3 of them, actually, we had presentations by our members, starting with Manju Alahakon, then followed by Laya Alas, and then last on the 8th of October, we had George presenting some of the creative work that they have done. The creative group, basically, for the information of the others who are not members of the creative group, it's a forum in which we are actually trying to develop our creative techniques. Initially, the in-camera creative techniques. Thereafter, we will actually progress to composites and Photoshop and set up pictures and various things. But it's a gradual process where we are learning from each other, sharing our pictures that we take, and getting feedback from the others so that we can get a critiquing done on a fairly regular basis. And we have roughly about 22 members right now. And when feedback comes in, the pluses and the minuses both, especially the minuses, gives us a chance to improve on what we have already done. It's actually mainly active on the FB page, limited to only the creative group members. And we also have a WhatsApp group where we share information basically about the meetings and stuff like that, but the FB page is the one that is mostly active. I would say that our members have been very, very busy, or rather dizzy, because we have been shaking cameras and doing all sorts of creative stuff with the camera. But it's very, very active, and anyone who is interested would like to, who's interested in joining, please talk to me or Naomi. We can get you involved in that. We meet normally on the second Thursday of each month. The next meeting is going to be on the 12th of November. So anyone who is interested, please do join us on the WhatsApp group and the FB page, and also the activities that we are doing. Right now, current situation, this is a good way to actually use cameras, learn new techniques, share the pictures and get feedback. That's it right now, but we will expand to various other things as we go on. It's a it's still in its infancy, and anyone's help, support is always welcome. Thank you.
Sam, would you like to just run through on the creative challenge that?
Well, we started with something where for every 2 weeks, we are posting a challenge to our members.
On the screen.
It's on the screen right now. Different techniques. Initially, we started with in-camera techniques, and then by the middle of November, we will be going into creative setups. So what we're trying to do is to get active engagement of the members to use their cameras, learn how to use the camera, and learn new techniques with the camera. And interestingly, we are finding newer and newer things that our cameras can do, which we didn't know of. So it's a very interesting experience that everyone is having. No one is right in doing creative stuff, or no one is wrong. So it's always something that is there to improve on. Always there's something to learn about. So it's something which is happening, and something that is also learned on the way as a byproduct of this is to how to critique pictures. Most of the time we are kind of scared or reluctant to give feedback to the authors, thinking that we might offend them. But unless we learn how to critique, unless we learn how to read a picture and give feedback, we will also not develop. So it's a technique in addition to a photographic technique that we are learning on the way. Thanks, Shamini.
Thank you, Sam. Right, so before we give an introduction to the monthly presentation, one of the groups that we have not covered is the mobile group. Mobile group is actually active on WhatsApp as the most active group among all the WhatsApp groups. So they do their critiquing and sharing photographs on the WhatsApp group. So if there's any new update from them, we will share that with you all. Now moving on to the monthly presentation. This month, the presentation is going to be done by a group of members from the PSSA Wildlife and Nature Group. They went to Singharaja in August. So the group is going to share with us their experiences, because they have titled it as an Incredible Singharaja Journey into the Paradise. So we are waiting to see the images that you have captured and to listen to you regarding your experiences during this excursion. Over to you, Hiranti and the team.
Okay, thank you, Shamini. So the eight members of the Wildlife and Nature Group did an excursion to Singharaja on the 24th and 25th of August, accompanied and guided by Mevan Piyasena, who is a well-known naturalist. It was actually a great experience because out of the 23 endemic birds, we saw 15 of them. We saw 4 endemic lizards and snakes, 4 endemic butterflies, and 2 endemic mammals. So we the challenge is photographing birds is not easy. because of the fact that they move fast, and to get very clear pictures of birds, they need to be close by. Sometimes the birds are very far away. But we put together with whatever the photographs we had, we put together a presentation, and Yoga, who was in the group, will do the presentation. And after the presentation, if there are any questions, we will all take questions. We'll give answers if there are questions. Till Yoga gets started, the interesting thing about Singaraja is that you got to walk. And there are many leeches as you walk, as you do your journey. But all in all of that is a challenge, and actually it's a real great experience. And we felt, I think Yoga also will touch on that, we felt that it's a place that everybody needs to visit. Because we also felt that although it's a rainforest, from my visit last time to my visit this time, I see it's much more drier than the wetness that used to be there. So hopefully, I hope not that the global warming is having an effect on the rainforest as well. So I think everybody should visit, especially the nature and the wildlife lovers. This is one place that you need to visit. Over to you, Yoga.
Can you see the slides now?
Yeah, Yoga. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And as Hiran mentioned, on behalf of the team, I'm going to make a presentation. A big credit to Inoka, who made the presentation, because he was the one who put a lot of effort in preparing the presentation. Though we gave the photographs, and he was the one developed the presentation. And as mentioned by Shamini, the title given was a journey into paradise. Incredible Singaraja, a journey into paradise. So it's a 2 days excursion, as mentioned by Hiranti, 8 members of PSSL, and with Mevan PSN, who is a naturalist. So actually got a lot of information from Mr. Mevan. That was one advantages we had during our 2 days trip. A lot of information about Singaraja, birds, mammals, butterflies, etc. Because he has in-depth knowledge about on this discipline. So we got a lot of benefits from Mr. Mevan. I'm sure most of you may know about Singaraja, but to refresh your mind, we thought of giving a little bit information about Singaraja. So this one is located in the southwest lowland wet zone of Sri Lanka. This also last extensive patch of primary lowland rainforest in Sri Lanka. Covers approximately 9,000 hectares, or rather 8,864 hectares. And the most importantly, the Singaraja rainforest, there are around 60% of the endemic trees and woody climbers are there, 95% of endemic birds, as well as 50% of endemic mammals and butterflies. And we also want to highlight 3 most important years where the Singaraja got more prominent. One is in 1875, Singaraja was declared as a forest reserve. And then in 1978, this was declared as Biosphere Reserve Increase of the World Heritage. And again in 1988, declared as a National Heritage Wilderness Area, and also UNESCO has declared as the World Heritage Site. So those are the important features of Singaraja. So now we are going to move to highlight some of the photographs we have taken during the excursion, starting with birds of Singaraja. Singaraja has nearly 23 endemic birds, of which we were lucky enough to spot 14. more than half of it we spot, and also we heard more than 5 birds. Started with national bird of Sri Lanka, that is shown jungle fowl. We wanted to highlight 2 important things. On the right-hand corner, you can see what you call a symbol that indicates this one is an endemic one. So wherever you see this sign, that will indicate that one will be an endemic one, whether it is bird, butterflies, or mammals. So that's one thing we want to highlight. And again, the photo credits are given here. Here, both Hiranti and Lanka Gunasekara are the photo creditors. And then Blue McPhee, this is very famous in Sri Lanka, Singaraja, again is an endemic one. So Marcel Bandaranaike is the one who took this lovely photograph. And that day we were lucky enough to spot Sri Lanka frogmouth. This was my second visit. During my first visit, that was a 4-day trip. Though that was a 4-day trip, I could not spot Sri Lanka frogmouth. But this time, the entire group were able to spot frogmouth. Then Sri Lankan hanging parrot. This was taken by Hiranti. Again, it's an endemic one. So the most interesting part of this photograph is we started in the early morning around 7 a.m. So what I want to highlight here is not only the beauty of the parrot and also the magic of light, which is very prominent in Singaraja. Just you can see the morning light, maybe the golden light, last stretch of the golden light during the morning hours. Just see how that morning light reflects in the hanging parrot. Then Sri Lanka Maina, again is an endemic one, taken by Hiranti. Then Serendip Scope Owl is also an endemic one. With my experience, I would say is also one of the most difficult one to spot. So that day we were lucky enough to spot this one. Then Scarlet Minivet. So these are the birds we were lucky enough to spot during our 2 days excursion. So before I go to the next one, I want to give a little more information about the birds in Singaraja. So one of the most important feature in Sri Lanka, Singaraja, is that mixed species feeding bird flocks that is very prominent in Singaraja. What it means is that 2 or more species of birds feeding and moving in the same direction is known as mixed species feeding flock. So what's special in Singaraja is that 35 to 50 individual birds from dozens of different species involved in this process. On average, there could be 12 different species of birds, with some flocks recording 30 to 40 different birds. It also came to know that some researchers found that over 100 numbers can also engage in certain instances. And another important feature of this mixed species feeding bird flock is that 2 important ones. One is the orange-billed warbler and the crested bronco are the most prominent one. Why those are the most prominent ones? Usually the crested bronco that gives the morning call, that has taken as the wake-up call. Then once the birds receives the wake-up call, orange-billed warbler starts leading the flocks. So in a day, as I mentioned earlier, different species of birds move in the same direction on feeding. So that's another important feature we can found in Singaraja. Then butterflies of Sri Lanka, Singaraja, what we spot in Singaraja during our excursions. So Sri Lanka has more than 20 endemic butterflies. We saw 4 of them and several others. This one, a national butterfly of Sri Lanka bird wing, is an endemic one. Siranti was the one taken this one, spot this one. Then tree nymph, again is an endemic one. Lanka Gunasekara, she's the credit should go to Lanka Gunasekara. Then plump Judy, this was taken by Hiranti. Then Medus brown, again this was taken by Shiranti. Grey pansy, Lanka Gunasekara. So those are these are the butterflies and monkey puzzle. So these are the butterflies we were able to spot during our 2 days excursions. And then reptiles and lizards in Singaraja. So just to inform you, Singaraja is a home for 71 species of reptiles. And almost half of them are endemic and 3 are nationally threatened. So those are the very important message about Singaraja. 71 reptiles, almost half of them are endemic and 33 are nationally threatened. It gives a lot of information in terms of numbers and also protection side. So during our excursion, we were able to spot Sri Lanka green-pit viper, taken by Mr. Marcel Bandaranaike. Another important and interesting information about this one is an endemic one. And during our first day, also spot this one at the same location. And when we return also, we were able to spot in the same location. So as per Mewan, usually they don't move that quickly. They will wait for their feed. So we can take very leisurely photographs of this one. That is an information we received during our excursion. Then Sri Lanka wine snake. I'm sure you can spot this one where I'm highlighting because it's all green. I'm sure you can see this one. This is the green wine snake. Then Gangaru lizard, again is an endemic one. Lanka Gunasekara was the one taken this photograph, a lovely photograph.
Hiranti,
Yeah.
okay, yoga is back. This is the overnight excursion?
Yeah,
Was
Ramesh.
it, or you all just,
No, one night. So we went early morning on a Saturday,
Okay.
stayed one night at Martin's Lodge. So there are some pictures of the lodge as well. And then, so we did 2 whole days, Ramesh.
Okay, yoga is back.
So
Yoga, you go back to Whistling Lizard.
Okay. This one, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Gangaru lizard is an endemic one. Again, whistling lizard. This is also an endemic one. Then mammals of Singaraja. Dusky strip arm squirrel, endemic one. And purple face leaf monkey. Both of them are endemic ones in terms of mammals. Then landscape and foliage of Singaraja. We have taken some photographs. We wanted to share those one also. The beauty of Singaraja. This is one. This is another capture, Shiranti. Then another one, and the beauty of Singaraja on different angle. This is another one. Some orchid with a different background taken by Inokadais. And as mentioned by Hiranti, we will also give a little bit information about Martin's Lodge, where we stayed for a night. I'm sure most of you would have stayed here, but still we wanted to give a little bit more information about this lodge, and also Martin Vijay Singh, especially Martin Vijay Singh. He owns this lodge located in heart of Singaraja. In terms of knowledge of the rainforest, Mr. Martin has in-depth knowledge, and that benefits a lot of other researchers, because he's not only hosting a lot of Sri Lankan guests, and also there are a lot of international guests also coming. So in terms of exchanging information about Singaraja for research and various other purposes, we are sure that Martin is playing a vital role. His knowledge and knowledge about Singaraja and also the biodiversity is immense. So we also got an opportunity to have a very brief discussion about Singaraja, and also some of the historical information about Singaraja. That was quite useful. And during the two full days, we walked around, we calculated it's around 18,000 steps. It's quite large, I think. But we didn't feel that. We didn't feel tired. We really enjoyed each and every moment. And these are some of the photographs of our group activities. The team very actively engaged in various activities, especially taking photographs. And also how we supported each other when there is a need. Yeah, so that's all about our trip to Singaraja. A very brief presentation. We're hopeful that you enjoy the presentation. It was very informative.
Ramesh, to add a little bit to our question, so it was a 2-day trip, 2 full days. It's about a 2-hour ride from here, because you go on the highway and right up to, so this is Kudava, so right up to the park, the roads are very good. So we stayed at this Martin's Lodge, which is a small lodge. It is the closest to it's actually almost in the forest itself. So this Martin Vijay Singh is about 82, 83 years old. He has a very basic lodge with about 10 rooms. The good thing is he's now put up some good new rooms, 5 new rooms. Otherwise, the other rooms are very ordinary. But the nice thing about the lodge is that it's a very basic lodge. You have normal rice and curry, but very tasty, homegrown, grown in the village. Plus, because it's in the park itself.
I saw some vodka on the table.
Anyway. Wait. So because it's in the park itself, there are a lot of birds around the bungalow, around the lodge itself. Yes, as usual, you know, our outings, no? So evening vodka is there always.
Yeah, so this lodge is inside the forest, you said?
So actually it is, yes, it's almost at the entrance. So if you've been to Singaraja from the office, you got to climb up. So this lodge is, after you climb up, the lodge is up, just near the entrance, just near the second entrance. So it's in the park, more or less in the park itself, yes.
So it's trespassing, isn't it? It's on.
No, it is not. It is his own freehold land, which is just outside the park.
I'm not talking about the legal right, but
no, actually the reason, Ramesh, he doesn't, it's a very, very basic place. The reason that he doesn't want to develop that place is that he wants to not disturb nature.
What entrance did you go in from?
Kudava.
Okay, Hiranti, since we are talking about, just let me ask you, 1875, the British declared this as a nature reserve, right?
Oh, okay.
Did you all just give thought to why they would have done that at a time when Sri Lanka had almost 90% or between 71 and 91% forest cover?
Okay, Mevan, can you help me on this? I have no answers to this. Is Mevan there? Mevan is there, right?
No, I don't want to answer. I'm just
No,
saying,
no.
just bringing out a point.
That's a very good question, Ramesh. I
You
don't have an
know,
answer to give
15
you to
years
that
ago,
question.
yeah. So we need to think about it.
Mm.
I mean, I tell you, your presentation, your pictures are fantastic, all you guys, and I think it's a very purposeful trip. Excellent. You just inspire everybody about nature and about wildlife. Uh, but personally, I think that we should keep away from it. It is their place. Let them, basically, they won't be endemic if you don't go there, right? So long years ago, this was done probably, nature reserve, the definition of nature reserve is a protected area for fauna and fauna, no? That's what it
Yeah.
that, and wildlife. So don't
Mm.
go there. Then there are so many others who build hotels inside the forest. Forest is not our land, it is their land, and you do this. There is a problem with the balance, and then we go intrude and so on. Now, this is my personal view. Please, now don't shoot me down. It's just right. So I feel that sattu balan don't nan suwekata gihilla balanna. Let them be in their forest.
Okay.
Don't upset their habitat, their way of life, and and you see some of your pictures. They were fantastic, but they are basically startled. Or they're looking at they're looking back. In a sense, they may be probably they got used to people coming all these years and hanging about. I think this is something to think about, because our forest cover right now is 32%, and we don't know how far it is correct.
It's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Endemic means we've killed them, we've sort of destroyed them, we've sort of pushed them out from where they're living. I think it is really time for people like you all, in a larger sense, in a holistic manner, to think of stopping people going to see them. Because we have enough pictures of them anyway. ලක්ෂ ගණන් පින්තූර තියෙනවා ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ. හිටගෙන ඉන්නවා, වල්ගෙන් එල්ලිලා ඉන්නවා, ඇවිදිනවා, අත් දෙකෙන් ඇවිත් ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා පින්තූර. Right? Of course, you need to experience them. You want to see them. There's nothing wrong in that. I'm not saying. I'm just putting out this thing that we should really stop. If you're a real naturalist, right? Nature lovers of wildlife, lovers of these lovely fauna and fauna. We have the trees. Of course, there are only 3 pictures of trees. Something. Your foliage. There's something really like I love. But anyway, I think we should keep away. That is the best that we can do. But I just put it across as just a thought, right?
Okay. No. So adding to what you're saying, Romesh, the way we also see the Singaraja, the way we go there, and the way we roam that Singaraja forest, there is very little disturbance, right? One is one. The second thing, Romesh, is that if you do not go there and see the beauty of it, and you don't show it to the rest of the world, how do you know what is there?
Don't go there. It is not your territory. It is their territory.
It is. I agree with you 100%. It is their territory, but you should. I mean, when you go to their territory, you must remember that you are a visitor in that territory and behave accordingly.
අවුරාරේ වාව පින්තූර අරගෙන එහෙමෙන් ඉස්සරහා දොරෙන් ගිහිල්ලා පස්ස දොරෙන් ඇවිල්ලා ගියාන ඔයා කැමති වෙන්නේ
නැහැ නේ. නෑ මම කැමති මාව disturb කරන්නේ නැති විදිහට මම කැමති විදිහට කරනවා නම් මට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. So what I'm also saying that yes, I agree with you 100% that we should not disturb them. Then when we are in those parks, we should realize that we are visitors in those parks and behave accordingly.
I know. I mean, I all the kudos to you guys that you all are, you all dear and subscribe to the best possible practices. But still, you listen to some of these people who, how anything can affect, their animals and their way of life is so different. Then mame langadi video dakka, there's a tuition master who talks about everything in the world. But of course, he was talking about Singaraj and the fact that you should stop vehicles going up to the door of Singaraj. And he brought out the fact that he found a very rare sort of a insect that had been sort of crushed by a vehicle මොකද
but සිංහරාජගේ වාහන යන්නේ නැහැ. වාහන තියෙන පල්ලෙහා.
Hurry, but what he was saying is there is no point, you should stop it very much further and get people to walk, because if you're a real nature lover, you'll never protest to the fact that you'll walk up.
Yeah, agree 100%. Agree with you 100%.
නේද?
Agree with you 100%.
දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්
අපි එහෙමයි කරේ.
එකෙන් ෆොරස්ට් එක ගියා කියන්නේ
නෑ නෑ අපි ගියේ නෑ හොරස් එක ඇතුළට. අපි පල්ලෙහා නවත්තලා ඇවිද්දා.
Ramesh, what I mean is people are confined to the footpath now. You can't go into the jungle.
No.
නෑ
No, you can, but we don't have, at Singaraja you can't take vehicles, you got to walk.
Okay, this is
Okay.
just for argument and thought and reflection, right? These something that I feel, right?
I will have to stop photography at this time. No, Ramesh.
No.
I will have to stop.
I'm just putting forward something that I feel. That's all.
Yeah, I know what you.
National-
Mevan, can you add?
National Geographical කාර වැඩේ වෙන්නේ නේ National
Oh,
Geographic.
අපිට ඔක්කොම අහන්න වෙනවා ඒ Ramesh. මට නම් for sure නවත්තන්න වෙනවා මිත්‍රා පින්තූර ගන්න එක. Hey, nothing to photograph now.
Can do
So that's his opinion. Yeah.
No,
Can do urban
I always
wildlife.
have
Why
a-
can't you do
I
urban
can do
wildlife?
urban wildlife. Yeah, so yes. Mevan, can you add please a little bit more stuff on this?
Well, that's his personal opinion, so there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So it's just that we have been doing going in these jungles. So what I try to do is always try to minimize if there is any disturbance to the forest or the animals. So and enjoy it at the same time. So it's not that I really don't want to go and not be in the jungle at all. So I always try to minimize the disturbance to the animals.
But I would like to add my comments, but because of my throat problem, I don't want to go further than this. I would admit your argument, Ramesh. On if we never went into the jungle and photographed the animals, people would have never known that they are there. So just stop at that. Can't speak well.
Can't speak. No.
They have been photographed for years and years, Marcel. There is something called the internet. You just go to Google and you type whatever name. You'll see millions of photographs. I wouldn't subscribe to that.
Ramesh, if you come with that argument, we can also argue in all disciplines. This is not going to apply only for wildlife. It can apply for all disciplines. I strongly believe that as much as possible, whoever visits the nature reserves, if they are in a position to follow the basic ethics, no, I think no need to worry about it. As Marcel pointed out, unless you go there, you can't. I mean, it's a different kind of discipline and different kind of ethics. So, if you completely stop going there, I mean, that's your personal opinion. In my point of view, still we can go there, as Mevan Marcel pointed out, as Niranthi pointed out. The most important point is you need to respect the nature.
Yes.
Don't disturb it, respect it, and still enjoy the nature and wildlife. That is the basic and main objective of the group. And that is what all nature lovers do, I would say. I think you have discussed, you brought up this same issue in another discussion point. I mean, when, I don't know, when we had a meeting at PSSL, you brought this same question. I think the same answer was given. So
Yeah.
that's your personal opinion, Ramesh. I strongly believe as a nature lover, as a wildlife lover, I respect the nature and wildlife. Whenever I get a chance, I go to the wildlife and nature reserve and enjoy the scene.
Beauty.
You say that you can get photographs from internet, etc. I think that's not a what do you call a good argument. If you say that we can get a lot of photographs, and then the entire photography section should be stopped. No, I mean street photography, black and white photography, which is your area, all can be taken from internet. So why we are doing that one? We can argument line also. So I would,
Yoga,
as much as possible, if you respect the nature and wildlife without harming it, I think it's no problem. That's my personal
I
view.
partially agree with Romesh. But what I don't know whether that restriction is there. But what I feel is, Romesh has a point. When you okay, an individual going into for nature reserve is different compared to a big group going into nature reserve, which really disturbs the animals and whatever I feel that they should have some kind of restriction of number of people visiting per day, like in India. In Indian national parks, it's limited. Here there are no restrictions, I think. So I think if they have some kind of restriction, per visitors per day, then I think it will, that will be little, at least less disturbance for the nature.
And also adding on to as a nature and a wildlife lover, adding on to the good side of as to why we should go. Yes, one thing is I myself believe in the fact very much that when you are in a wildlife park, whether it be Yala, whether it be Vilpattu, whether it be Singaraja, whether it be anywhere, that you must remember that you are in their territory and act accordingly and behave accordingly. Do not disturb them, and remember that always remember that you are in their territory. Also, on the other hand, if you do not go and visit these places and see the beauty of it, then even protection of the wild becomes you will try to protect the wild only when you know what is there. So even for example, Romesh, during lockdown, because people were not visiting parks, the poaching increased. So like that, visiting visiting also supports in the reservation or the conservation of wildlife. But I agree with you 100%. We should act accordingly.
The ideal example for Romesh's point is Yala.
Hirandi, just let me go back to, poaching is a different subject altogether. It has nothing to do with wildlife. It's
poaching is there. But Yala is one of the examples where it's overcrowded, where people intrude their territory and something like that.
Okay, now just to go back to yoga, I think he misunderstood two vital points that I have said. Photography, I said on the internet, I mentioned it as far as the wildlife, and endemic species are concerned. Not about street. There's nobody on the street who's endemic. You can walk out yoga and don't worry, you can use your camera, you can dance about. There's nobody who will expire or die on the street because of that action. Number two is whatever you do when you're in the forest, you're alien, you're violating their space. So you may probably, I don't know, be in your best behavior and, even inhale or exhaling oxygen or your carbon dioxide. But the fact remains that you're in their territory, you're violating their space. So to that effect, what I feel is on a larger scale, I'm not necessarily saying you need to do that, but think about it. The fact that our forest cover has dwindled, our clean water, our rivers, our river basins, our topsoil, so these are the larger issues. While you're happily going to these wildlife parks and enjoying these things, these are dwindling. 91% 1888, 81, 31% now. So that is the larger picture that I'm trying to basically bring home.
Romesh, wildlife cover is not dwindling because we are visiting them. No, there are various other reasons why it is dwindling. Because of
but you can't be ignorant. You all are the great lovers, the protectors, the champions of so and so. You all love. You want to live. You want to see these. There were elephants even in Kelani long years ago. No.
Yeah. So dwindling not because of the people who are visiting, or because of the people who are developing.
Guardian. So you got to look at the bigger picture. So if any of your actions can help, in protecting this so-called wonderful resource that you're getting so inspired about, please think about that. Not only a photograph. That's all I'm trying to say.
And I heard, Ramesh, from the grapevine that you're allergic to nature. You're allergic to birds. You're allergic to wildlife. Is that right?
No, the person who commented comment, Mr. Vandugunaratna, in fact, when I once visited his house and he had this lovely fern covering his entrance, and then I admired it thoroughly, and actually I must appreciate the fact that he took the trouble of making a sapling and giving it to me, which I have also planted. It has grown to a great extent and I enjoy looking at it every day. So I don't want to basically say anything further, but I think that would basically place me at a place whether I like wild nature or not.
Thank you for the mention.
And the other thing is, as photographers, what do? We go to the parks to take a photograph, to capture, to have it with us, and keep pressure it with us. But if you get a fantastic shot there, so we can show it on to other people. As a photographer, you go in a different wavelength also.
I agree. This particular set of photographs and this, I think this excursion is excellent. Excellent pictures that the group has taken. That is a very purposeful, I think, excursion that they have done. There's no question about it.
Don't you think we have excessively discussed about this?
I think we took a lot of time on that aspect. Any other comments from the audience regarding the presentation, other than protecting the reserve?
It's a nice presentation, and the collection of various photographers gives us a different feeling, because rather than sticking to one photographer, it's totally a group collection. It's a wonderful collection and nice presentation. Really enjoyed it.
To add a little bit to what Roshan has to say, so that morning, that second day early morning, some of these bird pictures that we've captured, actually to capture some of these birds is very difficult. But the fact that the enjoyment when you get there, just being there and watching the birds, hearing their bird noises is amazing. And then if you can get them on camera, it's your luck.
An excellent collection of photographs. The diversity in the photographs is certainly adds to the presentation. Maybe we should have a session in the PSSR called Biodiversity and Photography.
Yes, good idea actually. Let's think about it.
Romesh, you can start that.
If you really want the photographs, hand it over to Ramesh.
I'll have some
You will end up somewhere else. Any other queries, clarifications, comments?
One point, I think, sorry, Shamini, is there a active way of stopping a large number of people encroaching the Singaraja forest in some way or another by the wildlife people?
Actually, Laya, Singaraja does not have so much the problem of people. Okay, so the weekend that we were there, I think we were about the only, and there was another small group. So Singaraja is not overcrowded generally, Laya. Unlike,
I think one should actually stop overcrowding. I think Ramesh's point is a valid one.
Yes,
I think that the point should be taken in the right context and start limiting the number of people who are limiting access. Now, I mean, even in the US, like for example, Yellowstone, these are huge. I mean, these are as big as Sri Lanka. And they stop the number of vehicles and the people entering the park.
Yeah.
Hiranti, one more thing. Just tell me what kind of time duration, like each day, like what time you started and at what time they end your whatever the excursion. Like
actually, Roshan, we were out there 2 full days. So we left Colombo at 5 o'clock,
Okay.
and then we had breakfast and we set out walking.
Yes.
See the
I think he's asking the hours of visit.
Singaraja.
We started from 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. From
The-
5
the-
from
Like,
yeah.
staying at
Singaraja
the
is
lodge.
open from 5:30 in the morning, is it?
No. That's why at the lodge we were waiting for the Blue Magpies to come.
Yeah. Otherwise, Singaraja opens at what time, Evan? 7 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
6
Yeah.
o'clock. 6 o'clock.
They changed the
From
time recently.
6 o'clock to? It's 6 to 6 or?
6.
Ah, okay.
Just a question on photography, just change the subject. I mean, there's some of the photographs are beautiful, and I guess you had difficulty because of the foliage focusing. Did the autofocus work, or did you have to use manual focus?
Yeah. Now, some of those pictures, autofocus was a real challenge because of the foliage. Then we had to use manual focus. See that Scops owl is a autofocus, but but in some instances, yes, because the foliage autofocus becomes a challenge.
Lovely set of pictures. Congratulations everyone for taking those lovely pictures. And also, you all have been really lucky to have captured so many endemic species. And also, I think it's a good thing that you all, with this pandemic in Sri Lanka and in the world, that you all showed the endemic the wildlife, and also going by what Romesh said, that there's an endemic species that is coming from Colombo, which is probably going to stop in the future.
That is true.
So lunch was set by Martin for you to take and have on the way.
No. We came back to the lodge too for lunch.
All right. Okay.
Because the walking distance, Mitra, is not so much. So we came back to the lodge for all the meals.
By the way, you can't
take,
carry any food to the jungle.
Yeah, you can't. Also, Singaraja, you can't
carry any
take food to the
stuff.
jungle.
You can't carry anything except water. You can't carry food inside.
So you took the Denia entrance, I guess.
No, Kudava entrance.
Correct? Kudava.
This is the other side from Kudava entrance.
Denia has
From
some.
Matugama past Matugama that
Denia
Kalavana from Vedagala.
yeah. Kudava entrance, right? It's called Mevan?
Yes, Kudava.
Yeah.
You go from Tugama, you drive to Kalavana, from Kalavana to Vedagala, then you reach Kudava.
Mevan, you could, I believe that Singaraj is quite renowned for some of the indigenous medicinal plants. Can you talk about it a little?
I'm not a very great guy of the plants. Yes, it does have a lot of endemic species, a lot of medicinal plants.
Okay, if there is no more questions, it's time to end today's meeting.
Shamini, I have
Yes,
a new member. I
Yes.
want to ask how can I join to these groups? So I interest in nature and wildlife and also the grammar and passion.
Okay.
So I don't know
So
how
what
to
you-
join.
Okay, what you could do is send an email to Ruini. You have
Yeah.
her contact, right?
Okay.
And she will add you to the groups.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that was a interesting presentation. Hiranti, Yoga, Inoka, Lanka, Shiranti, Marcel, Mevan. I hope I got everyone's name.
Anoma.
Anoma.
Master's wife, Anoma, yes. Yeah. 8 of us.
Gayan.
And Gayan.
Okay.
Gayan is not here because he's busy at work, but Gayan.
Gayan Chaminda, right?
Gayan and Chaminda, yes.
Okay. It was a very good presentation, and actually I missed the session. I was planning to join the group as well, but due to
Yes.
personal reasons I couldn't join. I think you have managed to capture lovely photos and you have enjoyed the outing very much. So I hope that that we get to do more of it without disturbing the nature, or without disturbing the people, whether it be any other area of photography that we are interested in. Thank you for the interest group leaders for their continued effort in keeping the groups in order and having sessions for them. Very big thank you to all of you. It's very commendable work that you do as well. And also the support, some members are supporting some of the teams, and thank you for all of them as well. So this is the end for today. And thank you for all joining in. I think today we had around over 30 members joining the session. Thank you very much. And thank you for the new members also who joined us, Chandima, and I saw Sandeep as well. If I miss any other new members' names to mention, apologies, but it's very good. Thank you. And let's meet up at the next session. And good night.
Good night.
And have a good day.